All rise.
You've been served. What are you gonna do when Christina tries to take our baby?
He's gonna have a total meltdown.
You out.
There was an accident.
Everyone is criticizing Molly, but try to understand her perspective. She's already dealing with the pain of not being able to carry her own child, which adds stress to her relationship and her job. Now, her sister is seriously considering keeping a baby to which she has no biological connection. I'd be pushing for legal action to terminate Christina's rights too. Molly's not at fault here. Lock Sunny up and throw away the key. I can't comprehend why ABC continues to glorify a character with no redeeming qualities. The show loses hundreds of thousands of viewers every year, yet the issues with it are rewarded instead of being addressed. Christina is completely in the wrong. The baby was conceived to provide Molly and TJ with a child, and Christina's reasons for keeping it are absurd. Who believes a relationship would end over one disagreement? I'm definitely supporting Molly on this one. Christina frustrates me so much. She constantly puts herself in these situations and expects us to give her a pass, but I'm done with her nonsense. I wish she were written as a stronger character, but she's always been portrayed as someone who never matured. We all knew she'd want to keep the baby. It's mind-boggling why they chose her for this storyline. It's none of Christina's business if Molly and TJ argue, as long as they're good to the child. Since when does a disagreement with your partner determine how you should care for an infant? Christina's excuse for wanting to keep the baby is just a way to justify her decision. I'm so tired of this baby storyline. All Molly and TJ do is complain about the baby, and it's getting really old. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. I don't think Christina was involved with the baby. She was actually being summoned to court by Ava to testify about what she saw Sunny do to Dex. She's at Ava's hotel to confront her about it. Yeah, I suspect something happened with Avery at the pool. Whether it's due to medication or not, Jagger was about to face consequences. I told you Brennan would get involved. At this point, I hope Christina ends up with custody of the baby, because Molly and TJ seem to have lost their minds. I saw this coming from a mile away. Molly and TJ rushed into the surrogacy process too quickly, despite Alexis warning them from the start that it wasn't a good idea and that they needed proper paperwork. They didn't listen. I wonder if someone saw Ava, and if that's what Brooklyn witnessed with her and Jagger. Alexis tried to warn them, but they ignored her. Neither Molly nor Christina is ready to handle a baby. TJ and Molly have lost their minds. They've pushed Christina away, especially after their last conversation, which didn't go well. I can't blame Christina if she decides to keep the baby since they've treated her poorly from the beginning. TJ has changed a lot, and I'm not a fan of his character anymore. They've ruined him just like they've done with other characters. Thinking Christina is somehow better suited to raise the baby is laughable. She should keep it as if it's a shared toy. Christina has never been responsible or made wise choices. She was even in a cult not long ago. Molly and TJ may be overbearing, but most parents are. It's not surprising. I'm excited for this week's developments. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, but I hope Jagger shows up in the courtroom. As long as Jason, Michael, and Jocelyn are there, Carly will be in good hands with Diane. I understand that the baby is legally Christina's and TJ's, but when you're related and offer to carry a baby for your sister, it changes the dynamics. We'd all probably feel the same way. She won't do anything. We all knew Christina would want to keep the baby. It was a mistake to let her be the surrogate. I hope Ava and Jagger get what's coming to them. Jail for Ava, Jagger losing his job, and Brennan helping Carly. I hope they dive deep into this baby storyline and keep it real without being overly politically correct. Alexis will need to choose a side and not give in to Christina's guilt trips. It would be great if Rick returns in time to help his daughter fight for her baby. Jagger needs to face consequences once and for all, but I prefer Sonny not be the one to do it, especially given his current mindset. Anna should step up and team up with Jason to take Jagger down, as she's the one who messed things up by alerting Valentin about the FBI tip-off so he could leave with his daughter. I'm hoping Brennan will come through and support Carly since he has a soft spot for her. It would be a miracle if Carly's recording just vanished. The way Christina has been treated and micromanaged is way over the top. Yes, there should have been paperwork from the start since they are family, and one sign showed how Christina was handling the baby. They should have revisited the paperwork. Alexis warned them all, so she owes them nothing. Christina is being childish and immature, and I hope she does the right thing in the end. What's Ava up to? She mentioned a total meltdown, and her involvement with Jagger, who treats Jason poorly, isn't helping. I can't wait for Jagger to lose his badge for good. I know his boss can make that happen. There's a lot of tension in the courtroom. Someone is either watching or aiming for Ava, making this another Maxi-style custody battle between Molly and Christina. Alexis is really caught in the middle. Molly should have been smarter and arranged a legally binding agreement to ensure the baby was theirs after Christina delivered, especially when emotions are running high. So why does Christina want to keep the baby now that she's with Blaze? What if she and Blaze split? It would be the same situation as if Molly and TJ split. Christina doesn't need the baby, as she came to be their surrogate, not the other way around. She's not thinking clearly. It really pissed me off when Christina suggested that she and Blaze should temporarily co-parent the baby because Molly and TJ have been arguing a lot lately. Christina is being impulsive. She and Blaze have only been together for a few months, and didn't Blaze already say she's not ready for all of that? Molly and TJ are being ridiculous by serving Christina. At the end of the day, Christina is the biological, birth, and legal mother. TJ would have to prove paternity, and Molly doesn't even have stepmom status since they're not married. I don't care what anyone says about Sonny. Ava is tampering with his meds. She knew something was off the first time, and now she has his doctor giving him a placebo. I'm not going to defend a character who has a history of this. She messed with Morgan's meds and is now doing the same to Sonny. Her actions showed she's selfish and manipulative. She's no better than Maina. We all knew Christina would do this to Molly and TJ. She's making up excuses to keep the baby. Alexis was against this from the start, but if Christina decides to keep the baby, what will Alexis do? She's reluctant to choose sides between her daughters. There was no legal agreement in place for Christina to transfer the baby she's carrying to Molly and TJ. I'm getting tired of TJ's and Molly's attitudes. Maybe joint custody could be an option. Surrogates sometimes change their minds and decide to keep the baby they're carrying. I hope Brennan helps Carly and perhaps reveals how Sonny's meds have been tampered with by Valentin. We'll see how that plays out. It's also adding stress for Christina while she's very pregnant. All the stress might cause her mother issues, and Molly and TJ have completely lost it. While I agree she should sign the papers, the timing is terrible as the stress could lead to a miscarriage. Although I don't think Christina should keep the baby, I also don't think she should ever speak to her sister again. She's been awful to Christina. Who needs enemies with a sister like that? And TJ is just as judgmental and awful. Look, we all have our opinions. From the very start, I knew the baby situation with Molly and Christina wasn't going to work out. I had a feeling Christina wouldn't give the baby to Molly. They're all to blame. Christina is flaky, so why would Molly and TJ trust her? And TJ's paranoia about everything Christina does is exhausting. I'm fed up with all three of them. Alexis doesn't have to get involved since this isn't her fight. She warned them from the beginning that this might happen, but they didn't listen. It's interesting how we went from no legal action being possible to Christina potentially being forced to sign papers early or being taken to court where a judge could compel her. I read the description for this week's episodes and saw family crisis for Friday. I'm guessing it involves one of the sisters, but I can't tell which one. Either way, the other will feel guilty, and there might be speculation about whether the actress is leaving. It could go two ways depending on which sister is in danger. Looking forward to this week's drama. Sonny punching Kate's is not a good sign. Brennan is resurfacing, and I think he'll help Carly get out of her predicament somehow. The situation between Molly, TJ, and Christina is about to explode, and I'm here for all of it. Christina hired Diane, which is interesting. I don't think TJ or Molly are ready to raise a baby. Christina has grown since agreeing to carry the baby, but she seemed ready to give it up until she was questioned about every move and lost trust in the process with TJ and Molly. Christina is worried that Molly might not have any legal rights to the baby since she and TJ aren't legally married. If they break up, both Molly and Christina could lose the baby. I used to like TJ, but this storyline has changed my opinion. His funny questioning of Alexis about the baby is misguided. She told them from day one to take legal steps and have papers signed to avoid this very situation. Christina and Molly chose to ignore her advice. I hope Carly gets cleared of these charges. She attended the meeting and said she was taking Sonny's position, but she didn't. Anything related to the mob was Jason's responsibility, not Carly's, as he told Diane. If Jason faces additional charges, I hope he takes Anna down with him, since she aided and abetted a wanted person, Valentin. I wonder if this is the beginning of Ava's exit from the show. Choosing a surrogate who has never had a child before was a poor decision. Isn't it generally considered bad practice in real life? Typically, surrogates are women who have already had the children they want and have experience with pregnancy and childbirth. Alexis tried to advise Molly to get a contract from the start. Additionally, Christina can't simply take a baby that's biologically TA's. She can share custody, but she cannot take it away. Using donor eggs for surrogacy could have avoided all this mess. The entire storyline feels absurd, and as a side note, Willow and Drew's relationship is appalling, especially since he was involved with Carly, who Willow considers a mother figure, and is now with Willow's mom. This is just unwatchable. They need to hire more men and stop making one man do the work of three. Alexis can't favor one daughter over the other. She needs to tell Christina firmly that she cannot have Molly and TJ's baby. No judge is going to grant Christina the rights to this baby. I saw this coming. Molly should never have agreed to Christina being the surrogate. I remember an episode where Christina referred to the baby as hers while talking with Alexis. I hope Molly and TJ get their baby. Christina has no rights and is being wicked and evil. She's a terrible sister, and I've never liked her. Christina is really showing her true colors with this whole situation. It was bad enough when she dismissed Nina keeping Sonny from his family for 9 more months, as if it were insignificant. Now, she's trying to keep her sister's baby for herself. Christina saw how heartbroken Molly was because she couldn't carry a child, and now she has her sister's partner's baby in her womb and wants to keep it. The nerve of her to suggest that she and Blaze could be better parents is unbelievable. Blaze can't make a decision without constantly consulting others, and Christina can't even keep a promise. Let's not forget this all started when Molly confided in her sister about the fight she had with TJ. So now Christina is being blamed for potentially wanting to keep the baby, or for any paperwork issues. This situation is rooted in Molly and TJ's conflict and the way Molly brought it up to Christina. Christina hasn't broken any promises regarding giving the baby to her sister yet. And if Molly and TJ truly cared about the baby, they wouldn't be trying to push paperwork on Christina just days before she's due to give birth. This is exactly why choosing a surrogate who has never had a child before is problematic. I had a baby for my sister, but it was after my own family was complete, and my youngest was still very young. I couldn't have done this with my first child, that's for sure. Molly and TJ wanted a baby and were actively searching for a surrogate. Christina offered to be their surrogate, but Molly and TJ initially declined because they knew Christina's personality and anticipated potential issues. Christina was deeply hurt and essentially begged, or perhaps manipulated, them into accepting her offer. She was persistent and wouldn't take no for an answer until Molly and TJ agreed. Diane could argue that Christina knew full well that if she had asked TJ and Molly to donate his sperm for her to have a baby for herself, they would have said no. Diane might also argue that TJ had planned for a surrogate so he and his partner could raise the baby together, and he had no intention or willingness to donate his sperm to create a baby he wouldn't be raising himself. There is now a baby born into the world who was carefully planned and intended to be raised by TJ and Molly. However, Christina, Molly's own sister, acted with selfish intent and manipulated them into believing she could provide their miracle baby, only to have never genuinely intended to do so. Diane could conclude that Christina essentially stole TJ's sperm under false pretenses to have her sister's partner's baby. If Christina genuinely wanted a baby, she could have opted for a donor. She has never shown any interest in having TJ father her child, so this seems unlikely. Christina was certainly doing this to help her sister, but as previously mentioned, it was Molly who sowed the seeds of doubt in Christina's mind, so that's on her, Team Christina. Does anyone remember the summer when Luke and Laura were on the run, using the aliases Lloyd and Lucy? It was a memorable storyline involving the Ice Princess. They stayed at Beecher's Corners and the left-handed boy played a part in the plot. If I recall correctly, the left-handed boy was a statue with an inscription about who sits at the left hand of God. They also stayed at the Whittaker's farm in Beecher's Corners and danced to Fascination while hiding in Wyndham's. I'm trying to remember the name of the girl Monica adopted who later died of cancer. I'm drawing a blank on her name. Regarding spoilers for the weekend, it seems Trina will be put in a tough spot this week, especially when she catches Ava kissing Kate's. Joss has already warned her about him. Jack Brennan reminds me of a character from the show Alias, where his true nature remains a mystery. He told Carly one true thing, that he is not to be trusted. Whatever game Jack Brennan is playing, Carly seems to be the key to uncovering his true intentions. Jack Brennan's character is shrouded in mystery. Is he a bad guy, a good guy, or something in between? The writers haven't fully explored who he really is yet. Hopefully, they will reveal more about him in time. Did anyone else find it amusing when Anna went to Pentonville looking for Brennan, and the man she spoke to called him John Brennan? Anna mentioned that he also goes by Jack, but the guy continued to call him John. It was a funny moment, and I wonder if that was scripted or just a funny coincidence. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.